Leicestershire and Kent played out a rather tame draw as the last ever LV County Championship match at Grace Road went nowhere, although it did give Rob Key enough time to add to his tally of first-class hundreds. Rain on the third evening had prevented Leicestershire from pushing on as they would have liked, and they resumed on the final morning on 452 for 7, still in their first innings, and that gave them a lead of 46. Ollie Freckingham showed some early intent by pulling Charlie Schreck for a 6, as he and Shiv Thakur added another 25 runs. Thakur scored only 9 of those, moving from his overnight 105 to 114, but he then timed his flick off Mark Davis a little too well and gave Brendan Nash a catch in the deep. Schreck then wrapped things up by bowling Robbie Williams and having the injured Matthew Hoggard held in the covers by Rob Key. Leicestershire had batted for 170 overs in making 495 for a first innings lead of 89. The only chance of a result now was for Leicestershire's injury-ravaged attack, missing the likes of Hoggard, Nathan Buck and Anthony Ireland to somehow bowl well above themselves on a placid pitch and rip the heart out of the Kent lineup. Needless to say, that didn't happen, and Key and Sam Northeast easily negotiated the hour they had to bat before the lunch interval. Indeed, they saw out the first 24 overs and were only split when Northeast on 32 chased a very wide ball from Thakur and somehow managed to nick it behind. Kent were still 15 runs behind at this stage, but Key and Nash soon had them ahead without too much difficulty. In fairness, both sides had probably already consigned this match to a draw, but that's not to say that the action didn't remain competitive. Nash in particular went after the bowling, although he was helped a little by Jigger Nake's inability from time to time to utilise the pitch. Key nearly gave his innings away just before he'd reached the 50 mark for the 113th time in his career. He was put down in the deep. And that allowed him to record his first half-century of this season. It had taken him 124 balls to reach, and he'd only troubled the boundary rope on 4 occasions. Nash was closing in on his 2 by the time that tea arrived, and he got there after the sandwiches with a single off Nake. Nash had required 71 balls for his 50 and had struck 6 fours. Perhaps with an eye on the clock, Key now stepped up a gear, realising that, with nothing more riding on this game, he could help himself to his 47th first-class century. He was certainly seeing the ball well enough by now, using his many years of experience to find the gaps as he started to move well clear of his partner in taking the stand with Nash to 124. Nash contributed exactly half of those runs, but he missed seeing his former captain get to 3 figures as he edged Nake to Josh Cobb at 198 for 2. Key moved on to 96 with this shot, a perfectly timed flick off his pads which raced to the mid-wicket boundary. And his moment soon arrived as he found another leg-side delivery to his liking and whipped it to the fence. That was his 10th 4, and he'd reached his ton off 193 balls, his second 50 much quicker than the first, occupying 69 deliveries. The man who turns 34 next month has clearly still got it. And he certainly has his timing, because moments later both captains decided enough was enough and the match was drawn, with Kent on 213 for 2 and Key unbeaten on 104. In an even game, both sides took 9 points. Kent now travel to Lancashire, while Leicestershire have the next round of games off.